Hello, Bill McLean. This is Tim Norton, and this is Baldur's Gate the Third. So, new game, and there's going to be a bit of loading here. And I have a fighter build I want you to look at so that it will be illustrative of the important points. So, the first thing to do is to call him something like Mr. Fighter Guy. Not to be confused with Family Guy. So, now we have a fighter, and we're going to pick human. Human is here. And for origin story, we're going to pick the thing with the thing, which is somewhere. Maybe this one. And then here. Okay, so I think that's about right. So, appearance. The appearance has absolutely zero to do with anything. It doesn't make any difference what they look like. It is purely up to you. Enjoy. If you want hair that glows, though, I'll just mention this. This is the game for you. This has glowy hair till the good God won't have it. I mean, if you want glowy hair, this you need to buy this game right away. There's a lot of glowy hair in this game. So, anyway, so for the origin story, I picked Urchin because it gives stealth and sleight of hand proficiency. And why, you ask? Well, I'll tell you why. Because I am going to, let's see, Constitution, we want that to be as high as we can. And we want to be dumb as a post. And we want to get, so this is just straight up min-maxing. So if you look carefully here, you'll notice that the minimum is 9 and the maximum is 16. However, the actual minimum that the lowest number you can take for an ability score is actually 8. And the actual highest number that you can take is 15. How did I get to 16 and 9, you ask? Well, I'm glad you asked. And the answer is that the game is racist. And what it does is it says everybody has a minimum of 8 and a maximum of 15 unless you're a haha. Human gets +1 to everything. So if I go back to ability points here, then you'll find since I've gone all the way as far down on charisma as I can go, it should be 8, but he's +1, so it's 9. And I've maxed strength, dexterity, and constitution, and so it should be 15, but humans are +1 to every ability, so it's 16. Is that clear as mud? I'll give you another example. So let's take elf. Elf is +2 to dexterity and +1 to intelligence. So you go to ability scores, and it's the same again. I've maxed out strength, dexterity, and constitution, and I've minimized intelligence, wisdom, and charisma. And because he gets a +2 to dexterity, that took him all the way to 17, which I believe is after you've manipulated. There's no such thing as +3 to a skill. There's no way to get +3 to a skill to bring it to 18. But there was no plus or minus to strength, so the maximum I could get here is 15. Does that make sense? So the minimum is 8, the maximum is 15. However, because it's racist, if you have a race, the race will give you a bonus potentially to whatever stat. So that means that some stats, are you looking at me? Are you looking at me? Some stats, some races are better at some things. So fighter for elf, you're only going to get to 15. Not ideal. Alright, so as long as we're talking about ability points, check this out. So I'm going to go back to human because they're just an easy baseline, +1 to everything. And then we're back to here. So what I want to show you is this. So strength is how likely I am to hit now with a sword, right? Excuse me. And it's also how much damage I do. So what is the bonus? Well, if it's 10, it's 0. If it's 9, it's -1. And I believe 8 is minus 2. We can confirm that. I'll go over here to Pansy Elf. And, oh, no, 8 is still minus 1 also. Okay, well, never believe anything I tell you. Anyway, so, but if I go over my point is simply this. 10 is 0. 11 is also 0. This is the bonus you get from the ability. But 12 is plus 1. 13, an odd number, is no help. 14 is the second point. 15, you're starting to see the point here. 3 plus 3 is 16. And if I went to 17, a la Pansy Elf, for the dexterity, it stays at plus 3 because 16, it's only the even numbers that change it. So if I'm at 10, 12, 14, 16, 17 doesn't get you anything. And you get 2 ability points at level 4, I hear. I have never gotten a character to live long enough to be at level 4, through no fault of my own. Wait, no. Because I'm allowed... No, I haven't yet, okay? So shut up. So, yeah, basically, that's it. That's really the nut of this thing. So the only other thing to show you then, so that's pretty much everything. So the only other thing to show you then is the remaining deal. Oh, well, the class has sometimes the class things vary. Like if you're a thief, the only thing you have to pick you get no choices at all. With a fighter, you can pick some of the thing. If you're a wizard, you got to pick some spells. Blah blah blah. But I mean, it's pretty straightforward. There's nothing unusual about this. It's pretty obvious. So I'm going to take great weapon fighting. Defense is kind of cool because you get a +1 to your armor class. And if you pick up a shield, that's +3. And I think the armor you get and everything takes you to 17. So you can get up to, pretty quickly, you can get up to like, 18 or 19 armor class, which is a lot. Anyway, I'm going to take great weapon fighting for no reason at all. And okay, whatever. So, but I mean, the point is, when you're a class, there's some things to pick as a class, but who cares? It's not confusing at all. Now, back to things that are confusing, which is mainly skills. So, I don't care about survival. That's a wisdom skill. So what is my wisdom? Let's see, sad and lonely. So no wisdom skills do I particularly want. So let's take a look at athletics. What good are athletics? Well, athletics is you can push somebody around. You can literally walk up to them and push them away from you. It also helps to prevent you from being pushed. It's not that big a deal, but I like it. Especially if somebody is standing next to a cliff, you can just push them right off. Honestly, it's kind of sexy. I like it. So I pick stealth and sleight of hand. Why? Because they're a dexterity-based skill, and I have a +3 bonus in dexterity. So I'm automatically getting, the bonus there. And I took athletics, so I like to shove people. Acrobatics is a dexterity skill. I could take intimidation, but it's charisma. So why? So these two with the dot mean I'm getting +2. So with athletics, I have the 16 strength. That's a +3 bonus. But this is 5, and that's because proficiency gives you +2. 3 plus 2 is 3 plus 4, 5. 3 plus 2 is 5. That's why it says 5 there. See where it says 5? That's that would be why it says 5. That's, yeah. Proficiency is a +2. I picked these two to have of these choices to have proficiency. I still have these skills. These skills are still available, but there's no proficiency. There's no +2 bonus. And there's no opportunity to give them a +2 bonus. Whereas these skills, I have an opportunity to assign the proficiency to them. It's a little bit weird. But that's what it is. There's 18 of these, and you notice sleight of hand and stealth is listed here under inherited skills. I got them from the origin story here, right? And they're listed up here, and then they're not listed here, and they're not listed here. But if I were to add all these up, it would get to, are you ready? 18! It's always 18. There's only 18 skills. There's not more. There's not less. It's 18. It's not 17. It's not 19. It's 18. 18 skills total. Why do I mention this? Well, I'm glad you asked me. So I'm going to take sleight of hand and proficiency. But what if I took Guild Artisan and got insight and proficiency? Let's have a look at the skills. Da da da. So this has appeared here again. Insight and persuasion, is that? Yeah, insight and persuasion. And it's listed here. But then for some reason, insight is repeated down here. So if you were to add all these up then, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, blah, 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 they come to 19. Why? Because insight is repeated twice. Why is it repeated twice? Because I need more gray hairs. And that's what the people who make this game want me to have, gray hair. So that's what they've done. They've put it down here, and it doesn't stop. Sometimes it lists 2 up here and 2 down here. Sometimes it doesn't list them up here at all. It just lists them down here only. So if you don't know that there's only 18 and you're not really paying attention, it gets weird. So, be on the lookout for that. That might be something that you could look out for, and maybe it won't drive you insane like it did me. Ha ha! So why sleight of hand and stealth and athletics? I don't think we want intimidation, do we? Let's take intimidation as a charisma skill. We want is it charisma or yeah? We want acrobatics because dexterity, something we can actually do. If you click on the item here, so strength only has 1 skill associated with it. Dexterity has 3, which is more. Constitution has none. Intelligence has, oh my god. Wisdom has, what the? And charisma has, holy Moses. So because I'm concentrating on strength, dexterity, and constitution, the number of skills that I can associate with my bonus are not that many. And if you notice how I've laid them out, as the suave, good-looking expert that I am, you notice that all the ones all the skills that I've chosen to have proficiencies are skills that also I have an associated ability points with that are +3. In short, all my skills are based on either strength or dexterity. Constitution does not have any skills associated with it. Although I don't know why not. I would think hiking, maybe, but whatever. I guess that'd be strength. I don't know. I'm not going to argue. The point is that the skills I picked all are supported by my abilities. I don't have to do it that way. I could pick intimidation. I think it's based on charisma. And so if I gave my charisma as -1, so that gives me a -1 to the roll. But if I were to take intimidation, then that was here. I'll do it. Intimidation is actually a +1. So it's not as awful as it appears. But you see my ability score for the charisma intimidation is -1. But I have a +1 for intimidation, and that's because the proficiency, which I've checked here in this little box, gives me +2. So -1 plus +2 gives me 1. So you could take it, and you might want to actually, because it's kind of fun to make people back down. I've done it with a character, and they just kind of go, "Oh well, haven't thought about it. I think you might be right. So my friends and I are just going to take a walk down this road, maybe get a cup of coffee. You'll have a good day." It's pretty cool. But screw that. So I'm not doing it. So I'm just taking one. So whatever I can do, I'm going to have a pretty good roll at. I'm going to get plus. So if I have a 10 on a d20, I need to get to a 5 or better, and I'm good to go. Is basically what I'm saying. So So I hope that helps. I'm going to stop this here. I hope that helps. This is just a way of kind of explaining the skills, how they go with abilities, and why it's kind of weird about how to assign, how confusing it is with skills, like I said, with this stuff moving around. Maybe one more thing. When you're doing class, it makes a huge amount of difference. So one of the reasons I picked fighter for this demonstration is that the skills are fairly straightforward. But let's take, and you see all these ones that aren't available for a proficiency, like these unchecked ones are available for proficiency. If I take a class like Bard, check out the skills on this guy. all of them. See, here it is. Look, +2. This is my background. And they're both listed here. So if I added all these up, it'd be 20. I'm okay. So, but what I'm trying to point out here is that all of these skills are available for a proficiency, and he doesn't get 2 proficiencies to pick. He gets 3 proficiencies to pick. So the class you pick has a strong influence. It's strong with the force about which one of these you get to, which skills you get to pick. And then one more, if I go with Rogue, check this guy out. So he gets a fair number. I think that's a fair number. See, look, his inherited from background isn't listed up here at all. It's only actually listed in the skills. Ugh. They should just do it this way all the time. Actually, there shouldn't be any up above. Anyhow, but he also, in addition, he gets 4 proficiency slots instead of just 2. So he can pick any 4 of these. And he already gets 2 because of the background. So that's not 2 because of the background, 2 for proficiencies, but rather 2 from the background and another 4 proficiency for a total of 6 skills at +2. And then he gets 2 expertise slots. Each expertise slot is another +2. So if he wanted to be a hell of a liar, he could pick deception at +2. Crank up his charisma, which it isn't right now, but he could pick up, well, let's go with intimidation. I think, so intimidation's here. So with just the one check, that gives him a +2 to his charisma roll. So -9 +2. And then if he takes the persuasion, the expertise, which is another +2 for deception. No, intimidation was it? Yeah, intimidation. Now he's at +3 for a skill that in charisma that starts out as -1. So the thief has a huge number of skills that they can take, and some of which they can be very good at. So that means that 2, so like you would want sleight of hand, right, for thief, because that's the lock-picking skill. So unchecked, if I remove the expertise from here, his expertise is +5. That's 3 dexterity points, 3 from having a high dexterity, 2 from having a proficiency, and then another freaking 2 from expertise for the thief, or a +7. So if he's got to do a 10 on a d20, holy Moses, a 3 or better on a d20, and he's picked the lock. I'm just saying. Anyway, that's why I pick fighter, because humans have a pretty even, it's pretty straightforward, and the picking of the skills. Again, there's not very many to pick. You just have to manipulate your origin story and then pick down here, and it shows it. You know, you see how it was up here, and then before they were only listed down here. They should always only be listed down here, and then with the little asterisk here that says granted by origin story or granted by, I think urchin is that's the name of the thing that gives you these 2 things. All right, man, that's it. This game has been very interesting. I've enjoyed it. And it's very satisfying. There's some interesting exploits you can do while playing the game. It's pretty cool. All right, man. I will see you later. Take care. Bye-bye.